I'm Jill. Standing in my new, small apartment, looking out the window at the city below, I can hardly believe how far I've come. 3 months ago, I was trapped in a nightmare, but now I'm finally free. It all started when I found myself walking along the side of the road, my 2-year-old son, Ethan, clinging to me. The semi-trucks roared past, shaking the ground beneath my feet. I was terrified, but I kept going. Then, my father's old pick-up truck screeched to a halt in front of me. My father, Jack, a tough and no-nonsense former detective, jumped out. His face was red with anger as he looked at the empty road behind me. "Jill, where's your car?" he shouted over the noise of the traffic. I took a deep breath and told him the truth. "Mark took my keys. He said I'm not fit to drive." Sitting in the truck, the silence was heavy. Ethan fell asleep in his car seat, lulled by the engine's vibration. Dad's face was set, and he asked, "How long has this been going on?" I whispered, 6 months. Since Ethan turned 18 months old. It all began so innocently. Mark's sister, Lisa, showed up one day with a home-cooked meal. "You look exhausted, Jill. Let me take care of Ethan tonight," she said. I was so tired that I gratefully accepted. Then Mark, an accountant, told me he'd handle the finances, so I could focus on Ethan. I was stressed about the bills, so I agreed. But slowly, things started to change. Lisa moved into the guest room. Every morning, she'd criticize the food I made for Ethan. She'd check my grocery receipts and circle what she thought were unnecessary items. When I complained, Mark said I was being ungrateful and that I had postpartum depression. Every time I questioned Mark about moving our savings to an account I couldn't access, or why Lisa had a key to our bedroom, he'd say I was being paranoid. They made me feel like I was losing my mind. Last week, when I tried to take Ethan to the park, my keys were gone. Mark said he took them for my safety because I'd been so forgetful. And every night, he'd check my phone, saying it was to stop me from doom scrolling. But I knew he was reading my texts and tracking my location. I stopped calling Dad because I didn't want him to worry, and I didn't want Mark and Lisa to know I was starting to break. I thought if I just behaved better, they'd give me my life back. Dad pulled the truck over and turned to me. His eyes were cold, like he was on a mission. "This isn't help, Jill. They've isolated you, disarmed you, and taken you hostage. We're going back to get your things, and you're leaving that house today." When we pulled up to the house, it looked so perfect from the outside. Mark and Lisa were on the patio, Lisa sipping wine, and Mark on his tablet. They looked like a picture from a magazine, but I knew the truth. Mark stood up when he saw us. "Jack, let's not make a scene. We were worried about Jill. She's been unstable," he said. I stepped forward. "I'm not unstable, Mark. I'm leaving." Lisa laughed mockingly. "Leaving? Where will you go? You have no job, no car, and you can barely take care of yourself." Dad stepped between us. "You're holding her hostage. Give her the keys." Mark crossed his arms. "No. It's my house, my rules. She can leave, but she can't take Ethan." Dad took a step closer to Mark. "Let's talk about the law. You're withholding her property and restricting her movement. If you stop her from leaving with her child, it's unlawful imprisonment." I ran inside to get our things. As I packed, Dad stood guard in the doorway. I stopped for a moment and whispered, "Dad." He said, "I saw it 6 months ago at dinner. The way you looked at Mark, the lack of light in your eyes. I'm sorry I didn't do anything sooner." I put my hand on his arm. "I didn't stay because I was weak, Dad. I was afraid they'd take Ethan if I left without a plan." I pulled out a hidden folder from under the mattress. Inside were photos of Mark's bank statements and texts between him and Lisa about how to control me. We walked out with Ethan in my arms. Lisa shrieked, "You can't take him. That's kidnapping. I've called the police." Dad calmly replied, "It's not kidnapping for a mother to be with her child. But lying to the police about a custody dispute is a false report." Back at Dad's house, we started to check the documents I'd grabbed from Mark's office. My heart sank when I found out Mark had sold the car Dad bought me for Ethan's birth. He'd used the money to pay off Lisa's credit card debt. And to make matters worse, he'd taken out a $40,000 loan in my name and emptied my grandmother's trust fund. Dad's face hardened. This isn't a marriage problem, Jill. This is felony fraud. When Mark and Lisa showed up, shouting and threatening custody, I calmly handed Mark an envelope with all the evidence. His confidence crumbled as he read. I told him, "You stole $56,000. This is a crime. Return the money by morning, or I'll send this to the district attorney." They left in a panic. And now here I am, in my own place, rebuilding my life. Mark is facing charges, and I'm finally free from that cage.